What's the dumbest reason that somebody broke up with you? I was a fan of a specific YouTuber she hated. There was a lot of other reasons, but things were on the mend between us, and it was looking good. During one convo, I made it explicit that I really liked this YouTuber, and immediately her demeanor changed, and she abruptly told me that she never wanted to talk to me ever again. The YouTuber has a big hate following and a lot of, how do I say, blatantly false accusations about him being a racist, transphobic, and they're all circulated constantly. I had started to suspect that she believed all that, but it was still a shock that she would end a relationship over it without even talking about it and trying to understand why I'd be a fan of someone who's supposedly so objectively evil. Because her friends broke up with their boyfriends. I had a good friend, or at least I thought so at the time, break up with their boyfriend and wanted me to break up with my new boyfriend at the time. I said no. She never spoke to me again. Her reasoning was, loyalty means everything. By the way, my boyfriend at the time, he's my husband, and we've been together 9 years and 2 kids. Any update on the old friend? She blocked me on all social media, but a couple of years ago I did hear through the grapevine that she had gotten married and divorced. Who knows? If I'm honest, I really don't care. I had an allergic reaction to the food we ate at dinner. He had felt my reaction wasn't similar enough to an allergic reaction he's had in the past, so clearly I was faking it, which made him feel insecure, so he broke up with me. She was upset that I didn't hit her during an argument after she said some out-of-line shit. She thought abusive relationships were hot and show that I cared. The most bizarre thing I've ever heard, but probably best that that relationship ended. Bread. I dated a girl for a year, and we were talking about marriage at the time. We were both a little overweight and started a new diet together in order to look good for the eventual wedding. One day, we go out to eat, like at Denny's or something like that, and while we're waiting for the waitress to come back and take our orders, she leaves the restroom and asks me to order her a drink. The waitress comes while she's in the bathroom, and I order her a drink. And also the waitress brings a big old bowl of bread, which was something we were supposed to avoid on our diets, so I just asked her to take the bread away. My girlfriend gets back, and the waitress brings the drinks. My girlfriend looks around and notices that we don't have a bread basket, and asks the waitress for it. The waitress explained that she brought it, and I asked her to take it away. My girlfriend then exploded in a massive shit fit over the fact that I sent the bread away, screaming at the top of her lungs, throwing things, causing a huge scene, and then just grabbing her car keys and left without me. And it was also my car. When I eventually got home, she was all packed up, and she left me. He played saxophone. I asked him if it was heavy, and he handed it to me. A second later, he went to take it back, and I jokingly pulled it back from him before handing it over. He wouldn't speak to me after that, and then left. The next day he told me that he was upset about that because of how attached to the instrument he was, and he broke it off. A girl broke up with me because I didn't like Bruce Springsteen. She asked if I wanted to go to a concert with her, and I said yes, even though I wasn't a big fan. You'd have thought that I, punched her grandma in the face by the reaction. She said that she couldn't date someone that didn't have the same musical tastes as her, and she would find someone else who did. I said okay, and then I took the dog for a walk. Met a gal online, had a great first date, spent the night, and then the next couple of days with her. Then I spent a weekend with her and some extended family, and later went to her friend's cookout with her. Everything was going swimmingly. Then a few days later, after a dinner together, she says that she needs to listen to what the universe is telling her. She had gotten a flat tire, then had some other car trouble, lost a bracelet, and I accidentally broke a pull chain on her ceiling fan. These all happened within a few weeks of each other, and I guess it was just more than she could handle. Because she flat out said that it all happened because she met and was hanging around me. Well, none of this was happening before I met you. What? It sucked. I really liked her. But if she's blaming you for a flat tire, imagine how she's gonna react when you do make a legitimate mistake. I dated a woman for a year, and I helped her finish her PhD. I proofread and wrote some of her thesis. After she received the degree, she broke up with me. She said she didn't feel comfortable that she was better educated than I was. She's gonna have a narrow pool of people to choose from looking for other single PhDs in her age range. The OP replied, she married a Taco Bell manager. There isn't anything narrow about her anymore. She met someone that she immediately saw herself marrying. A month after we broke up, she moved across the country, got married, called me to tell me that she made a mistake, got divorced, moved back home, got pregnant, and then got married again. She's 22. Meanwhile, I'm 22 and I've never dated anybody. Given her story, I'm a little bit fine with that, though. Her sorority sister convinced her that I was too poor to date, because I wasn't from Hollywood Hills. I'd say that I dodged a bullet if she wasn't the nicest, prettiest girl that I've ever dated. She also ended up marrying an average guy now, and lives in the Midwest. Yeah, you really dodged a bullet there. If she dumped you because you're too poor, then that's kind of a gold digger mentality. Either her friend helped to reinforce those feelings, or it was a fabrication to help her deflect looking like a beep. I called someone donkey on the phone. He overheard and said that it was a reflection on the type of person I am, and doesn't want to be around that sort of negativity. The twist? Well, it was my best friend that I was talking to, who said that they couldn't come over to an event I had planned, and I said, "Oh, you donkey, that means I have to go alone?" It was the mildest insult ever. My friend and I still laugh about it to this day. She apparently OD'd on sleeping pills, went into a coma, and lost all memories of me, but absolutely nothing else when she regained consciousness. Wow, that's a committed escape. Why would she go through that just to avoid actually, breaking up? People are freaks, man. I dated a girl for one day. She broke up with me because, in her words, I was immortal. I'm pretty certain she was going for immoral, but hey, you take what you can get. In high school, she broke up with me because she saw me kiss another girl on the cheek, and that was my mom's cheek I kissed. Well, I guess your mother's really got it going on from your girl's perspective. I once dated a girl from Shenzhen, China. She was in the States for college. I took her out on Christmas Eve for dinner, and as I'm driving her back to her dorm, we pass a strip club. She says that she's never been, and she wants me to take her. I told her some other time I can't spend Christmas Eve in a strip club. She dumped me on the spot. It was worth it for the anecdote. She was a nut. She said that God came to her in a dream and told her that to follow his path, she could not walk it with me. She then started going to church and became an assistant minister or something. She then started dating a local junkhead wife-beater because he had reformed himself and come to God. And then he cheated on her. And now she works at Walgreens. It's just your friendly neighborhood dumpster fire, I guess. Whew. My ex's cat was named Ben. The girl's cat I was dating was named Bundles. One day, I called Bundles Ben, and she asked me what I just called her cat. I thought about it, and then I remembered that it was my ex's cat's name. I laughed, and I told her, that's all it is, and she was super unimpressed. She broke up with me the next day. During my freshman year in high school, my boyfriend at the time broke up with me because I was too poor for him, quote unquote. A year before we started dating, the company my dad had worked for 20 years went bankrupt. Every single employee lost their job, and he was unemployed for 2 years, actively seeking astounding recommendations from previous employers, just no degree. He refused to go to my house because, quote-unquote, it made him feel claustrophobic. My house is roughly 2,000 square feet with vaulted ceilings. It's not a mansion by any means, but it's not puny either. He didn't understand why I didn't get a brand new car for my birthday like he did. I didn't even have my license, not to mention that we just couldn't afford it. His father died when he was really young, and they got a metric ton of money from it. His mom made a lot of money from her job, so they were really, really well off. He didn't understand why other people would just choose not to be rich. Apparently, he told his mom about our breakup a week later or so, because she then called me crying and apologizing for her son's horrible behavior. She felt horrible that he ended a year-long relationship because of his parents' income. I broke up with a girl because she didn't believe in dinosaurs. Seriously, she thought fossils were tricks by scientists to make the public believe that the Earth was older than she thought. She was very hot, but I just couldn't do it. Dinosaurs were the last straw. Okay, I dated the girl for about 4 months. She was cute, funny, but drank a little too much. She also said some weird stuff while we were f***ing. But I was like, what the hell? We're young. Besides, who cares about what kind of babble runs out of her cake hole? I chalked her incessant gibberish up to a job well done, and I moved on. Which led to showing up at a bar to meet her friends and for a drink and watch a basketball game. And when I got there, the place was packed, and I was met at the door with more odd ranting from her friends. Congratulations! I'm so happy for you guys. Those flowers are beautiful. Confused, I look back to the rear of the bar and see my soon-to-be ex-girlfriend standing next to a large vase of roses, getting hugs from everyone, as at my own engagement party. Having never proposed, I found this slightly frightening. Turns out the crazy bitch even hooked up a reception hall. I called the hall and, canceled it. So, she was pissed. Took a few months to get rid of her crazy ass, but that was my weirdest. Let us know in the comment section below what other story you want us to make a video about. We'd love to see your ideas. Later.